Fortnite Festival has grown up so fast, hasn't it? It seems like just yesterday that the icon was significantly less hairy. Fun fact, this opening dialogue is being recorded exactly 1 year and 1 week after my original Fortnite Festival video was posted back in December of 2023. Isn't that terrifying? Time is truly the enemy of us all, but as per tradition, we are here to talk about Fortnite Festival and its updates, and we have some pretty big things to talk about, and I might have some pretty unpopular opinions this time around. As per usual, let's start with the icon, and unlike last season when I had absolutely no idea who Karol G was, I was 100% familiar with Snoop Dogg. How couldn't I be? I play Call of Duty. In all seriousness, I do know Snoop Dogg is a musician as well. He's a very, very influential and important rap artist. Heck, I remember back when Blue Carpet Treatment came out, and that album is probably older than the grand majority of Fortnite players. I wouldn't say I'm a Snoop Dogg enthusiast, but I am definitely a passive fan of his music, and I can 100% respect him as a musician and an entrepreneur in more recent years. He's definitely a pop culture icon and 100% deserves to be in Fortnite. Getting that out of the way, I was a little pessimistic about how some of Snoop Dogg's songs would translate into charts in Fortnite Festival because there's not a lot going on in some of these instrumentals. While the vocal charts would doubtless be fun, I was a little worried about pro lead and pro bass being a little stale, and yeah, I've definitely played more exciting charts than this, but it's still fun to have Snoop's music in this game regardless. Now unfortunately, and this is going to be the first of many unpopular opinions, I don't think that a lot of songs were necessarily charted super well this season. As a big Sum 41 fan, I was really excited to see Fat Lip in this game, and while I don't think the chart is as bad as the Guitar Hero DLC chart, I still don't find it anywhere near as engaging as the Guitar Hero 1 version of this song, which came out 20 years ago this year. And while I don't play a ton of pad charts anymore, I've pretty much switched to pro lead and pro bass full time, some of the drum charts on pad look absolutely terrible. Take On Me does not look fun in the absolute slightest. I have zero envy for people that are stuck on pad. I am so sorry. I really hope they add pro drum support soon. Now that's not to say we haven't had any good charts in the game recently, far from it. Hips Don't Lie was surprisingly fun, especially the trills in the bridge section, and pretty much the entire last section of Right Round by Flo Rida is extremely fun. I really like the pattern that they have going on here. It's really fulfilling to hit. I do find overall the charting to be a little disappointing, especially considering the fact that the charting during the Metallica season was really damn good, and that seems like forever ago at this point, so I hope that rhythm game authors aren't giving up on the game, because it definitely seems like Epic Games is starting to. I don't think it's much of an unpopular opinion to say that Fortnite Festival hasn't really gotten a lot of the tender love and care that it's really deserved. Now, there have been some quality of life improvements, such as being able to jam out in the lobby. This is pretty cool, although I'm wondering now why it was absent for so long. This does unfortunately mean that less people have been queuing up for the jam stage, which is looking more and more like a ghost town nowadays. It actually took me quite a while to even get this gameplay footage because it was hard to find a lobby that either wasn't filled to the brim with the only remaining players or had 0 players to jam with. Battle Stage also hasn't seen any quality of life improvements whatsoever since the last video, and this I'm genuinely curious as to why, because it had so much potential and could have been so much bigger than it actually was, but it seems like they're just forgetting about it. But the real kick in the face here was the fact that there was pretty much no anniversary celebration for Festival. Now, Epic Games has been doing this cool thing called the OG game mode, where you can play with the new physics and new graphics, but using the original map from back in the day. It's actually quite fun. And more than anything, it's cool that Epic Games is willing to celebrate their past like this, but this sentiment only seems to apply to Battle Royale, as there's no celebrating Festival's past. The only things that we got for a 1-year anniversary for Fortnite Festival were 4 paid DLC skins and the ability to play any jam track in the game for free, which for people like me that buy most of the jam tracks is kinda pointless. So to recap, Epic Games has seemingly decided to allocate all of its resources in Fortnite Festival's 1-year anniversary towards the casual audience, while giving absolutely nothing to the hardcore audience other than the ability to spend more V-Bucks. And that I am not a very big fan of. Now, I'm not trying to gatekeep here. If they could make all these jam tracks permanently free for everyone, I'd be totally okay with that. But why not give the people that made your game so big in the first place a little extra something to celebrate the fact that they've spent so much time and money playing it? An anniversary, despite only being a year, is still not a small feat in this current landscape of gaming, where games barely last more than a month nowadays. Do you remember Concord? Of course you fucking don't, but you definitely remember Fortnite Festival, and I'm a little annoyed that Epic Games didn't go a little bit further to give the fans of Fortnite Festival, who have been spending their legitimate time and money on this game, more of an incentive to play it past its anniversary, because, I'll be honest, I'm getting kind of bored of Fortnite Festival. No amount of minuscule changes, such as being able to see the duration of the song and then randomly halfway through the season the song title, why wasn't that there from the start, can really replace the feeling that I get when I play something like Guitar Hero World Tour Definitive Edition or Clone Hero. And this is the first season since before Fortnite Festival even existed that I've began playing other rhythm games far more than Fortnite Festival. I know that projects like Yarg might not have the spectacle that Fortnite Festival has with the 3D character models dancing around to the music, but what Yarg does have is an incredibly talented open development team that is sharing what their future editions are going to look like. Same with Clone Hero. When we all thought Clone Hero updates were dead and gone, they introduced a leaderboard mode coming out sometime this year. Again, these games don't have the spectacle of Fortnite Festival, and they certainly don't have the budget of Fortnite Festival either, but I find them to be interestingly more engaging and give me a lot more to look forward to in the future than Fortnite Festival, when after a year, we still don't have a damn practice mode. Why do the instruments still vanish from the characters' hands mid-song? This happened more this season than any past season, by the way. Why is this game gaslighting me? Waiting for all players? Sir, I'm playing alone at 1:30 in the morning on a Saturday in my basement. Thank you for rubbing it in, asshole. I don't understand why the upkeep for this game has been the bare minimum. It reminds me of 2015. It reminds me of Guitar Hero Live and Rock Band 4's early days, when it wasn't a good time to be a rhythm gamer. And that just bums the hell out of me. I really hope I'm reading too deep into this and Harmonix are going to do something really interesting for this next season, because I feel like a lot of other people are starting to feel the festival fatigue. One really cool thing that did happen this season, and this is 100% community based, Epic had nothing to do with this, was Jason Paradise ran a Fortnite Festival tournament on Twitch, and it was really awesome to see all these incredibly talented rhythm gamers come together and participate in this awesome tournament, and the winner won a Neo Purple Wave S. Congratulations, Soya, I hope you enjoy your doohickey as much as I do. Speaking of the doohickey, if you haven't seen my review of this thing, it was manufactured by a company called Cracked, who you may know as Red Octane. Now, Red Octane, if you're unfamiliar, created the early Guitar Hero guitars and worked on the games along with Harmonix. These Red Octane guitars are arguably the best rhythm game peripherals ever made, at least in my opinion, and during the Game Awards, they announced that they're going to be going back to their guitar roots by releasing a new Les Paul style guitar this year, which is incredible. It's awesome to see Red Octane going back to their roots, and I can't wait to get my hands on one. So that's kind of a bittersweet ending to this whole thing. Although Epic doesn't seem to have as much love for Fortnite Festival as the community does, it's still nice to see projects like the tournament and the new Cracked guitar this year carrying the torch of this genre that we all love so much. And next season, we appear to have Hatsune Miku for the icon, which came out of absolutely nowhere, but I hope that the shakeup in genre also kind of instigates a shakeup in gameplay too. I would love to see something big happen with Festival to get the player base just as excited as they were this time last year. But I'd love to know your guys' thoughts about this past season of Fortnite Festival, so leave me a comment. This has been DanRock, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out, and take care.